Joining us is the minority whip in the House, Steve Scalise. Congressman, welcome back to the show.
Sean, it's great to be back with you.
So, as you noted, I thought once we got Kavanaugh and Gorsuch that we would see a lot more pro-life rulings. That didn't happen because John Roberts, and I know he talked about the fact that he was trying to follow court precedent, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't change the law, and it doesn't change the cause, and I think we're going to see more decisions go with the liberals. That being said, how do we make sure people understand what's at stake this election in terms of the judges? Because this, to me, this is about the Senate, this is about the House, about the presidency, not the House. You guys don't vote on judges. But I just think that people have to understand what is at stake with the Supreme Court.
Yeah, Sean, if people didn't know just how much is at stake this November, this case reminds you one more time. This was a 5-4 decision. And keep in mind, John Roberts ruled on a similar case just 4 years ago, and he ruled that basically you can have higher standards for anybody who performs an abortion. And then he reversed course on this. And the thing is, this is the key, Sean. John Roberts and any other justice takes an oath to uphold the Constitution. Their oath is not to uphold the prior flawed decisions of other courts. And so just because a court had this stare decisis previous ruling, he knows the Constitution says that a state can require proper health standards for women. And yet he threw that in the trash can yesterday. And so, look who brought the case. This wasn't a woman saying she's been being denied any kind of health access. It was brought by an abortion doctor who didn't want to have higher standards, who didn't want to have hospital admitting privileges when we've seen women die on abortion tables because the person that was performing the abortion wasn't properly qualified and didn't have hospital admitting privileges, and women died because of it. In a state, if Louisiana or any other state can't just say you have to have those basic standards to protect those women, then what can a state do to protect women? This was a really bad decision by Justice Roberts. He's trying to play politics instead of follow the Constitution.
Everyone says it was a blow to the abortion movement, to the pro-life movement, rather. The funny thing is, I agree with you. This was a health issue. This wasn't outlawing them. That wasn't overturning Roe v. Wade. It was, to your point, it was just actually making it safer, which is ironic that the way it's being spun right now, but it was requiring these clinics to make sure that they have doctors that have admitting privileges. That's not overturning. That's not overruling. That is literally probably to some sick way enhancing because it's ensuring that the safety measures are put in place. I think that's, the thing that's interesting is that there's all this talk about judges now for the Supreme Court. Trump, I think, put out that list of 20 last time. It was hugely successful. People knew who he was going to appoint. Biden is now saying he won't do it. I believe that he won't do it because he would have to show how crazy left the judges he would pick would be. That's the only reason I think he's not showing you who he wants to pick.
Right. Biden is scared to death of showing people who he would put on the Supreme Court because on everything else, he has moved so far to the socialist left. He's not a liberal anymore. He's literally embracing the socialist agenda. He's going to have AOC as his energy advisor. For goodness sake, she wants solar panels on airplanes. The things that they promote, and by the way, they don't live by what they say. They just tell you to change your lifestyle and jack up your electricity rates. But from the Supreme Court, where they literally lowered health standards for women in yesterday's ruling to what Joe Biden would do on whoever would point to the Supreme Court, he's not going to show a list. President Trump proudly showed a list, shocked a lot of people, and he's followed it. He's literally followed that list. Joe Biden, you don't even have to ask him. He won't show you. But it's going to be people far to the left of Ruth Bader Ginsburg that he'd appoint.
Hey, Congressman, we're running out of time, but I actually just want you to comment real quickly. You wrote a piece in the New York Post that says Governor Cuomo can't dodge accountability for nursing home deaths forever. I know I don't mean to jam you because we don't have a lot of time, but the media narrative makes it sound like Governor Cuomo is doing an amazing job. He has a patty cake fest every night with his brother on CNN. How do we get the story out, and how do we make sure that we hold this guy accountable for what's really going on? We've got more than 6,400 nursing home deaths in New York alone.
Yeah, Sean, thousands of seniors in nursing homes died in New York who shouldn't have died. Their families deserve answers, and this issue is not going away because those families aren't going away. They're angry as they should be. Only 5 states went against the federal guidelines on properly protecting seniors in nursing homes. And Cuomo led the way for those 5 governors who did this. They literally back into a nursing home from a hospital COVID positive and prohibited the nursing home from even testing them for coronavirus, and it led to thousands of deaths that should have never occurred. That was Cuomo's policy against federal guidance that killed those people. Families deserve answers. This is not going to go away.
It's amazing that, that you, a congressman from Louisiana, is the one casting light on this issue. I mean, no one from the media is talking about it. So I appreciate the fact that you're actually out there doing the people's job that should be doing in the media. So, Congressman, thank you for joining us again. I appreciate it and everything you're fighting for there in Congress.